Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So today's deck profile, yes, we are stepping into the waters of Gallantmon, a very loved and very scrutinized deck. Now, we did take some notes though from the European Regional Champion here. He had a whole on DigimonMeta.com. He just wrote out like all of his thoughts and everything like that. So he has a whole article about it. So we did go through that for our idea for building this deck profile today. So we took some notes there with just some of my own interactions with this deck. I've played against this deck a ton for a long time. One of my testing partners, Hugo Souls, he loves this deck a ton. So we have built it over and over numerous times. He's played it a ton. So I went ahead, we took a crack at it, and this is what we got. Also, if you're interested, go check out my Twitch page. I've been streaming some Diablo 2 and some Borderlands 2 as well. Just any support you guys can give over there. Just a quick follow. Help me get up to that 50 so I can go ahead and become an affiliate. I would just greatly appreciate the looking out and just a quick follow. All right, so as always, we have the whole deck profile pulled up for you guys so you can follow along with this and kind of see what we're working with here. I think it's pretty straightforward, like the overall intent of the strategy here. There's a few cards in here that I think are a bit of a bait, so I have switched a few things around just a little bit here, but I think overall it kind of makes sense of what we're doing. So we'll go ahead and do the card by card and just kind of break down what the overall strategy that you're going for is. For the baby here, we're actually swapping off the draw one when attacking Digimon into the add 1,000 to the maximum your DP-based deletion effects can delete. I think with the implementation of Crimson Blaze here, deleting the 6,000 DP or less, so we've got a few things that kind of add to that is really strong, as well as, of course, all of our other numerous deletion effects here. I think it's a meta call, like really strong meta call right now. Numemon just won another regional over the weekend. If you have been following along with all the recent regionals, it's about 25% of the top 16 every time. It has almost the largest margin every single time, as well as not only does Crimson Blaze really mess up Numemon and wiping out their field and preventing them from playing effects, but it also hits decks like Leviamon that like to play Digimon by effects. So I think it's a really good meta call right now, running decks that can run Crimson Blaze and being able to make your Crimson Blaze stronger. Like, this is the only deck in the game that can do that. I think there's some really good synergy here and a really good time to play this deck. Jumping in here, now we got our EX2 Gilmon. This is just really the best searcher for the deck. It's a on-play reveal 4. You can add one of your Groundmon or Gallantmons and one of your Tocados. So we get to add 2 different things off of that. So definitely the best searcher, your go-to on play. And then the inheritable when attacking once per turn, if it has Groundmon or Gallantmon in name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. Of course, if you got the baby, you can bump that up a little bit. So great for like clearing floodgates and that sort of thing, like memory game floodgate blockers and things like that, as well as like Psychmons that prevent play cost reduction, which does come up in here. So yeah, because of the Gallantmon, the secret rare Gallantmon, if you're not familiar, from the Rural Knight set. So nice little inheritable though, just taking out those easy bodies, as well as, again, another good card to hit those Numemon decks. So we're running that as a 4 of. It's definitely the best Gilmon for the deck. We also have the BT12 one. This one is an on-play reveal 4, add all Tocados, but you don't get anything else, which is a shame. It kind of reminds me of like the Flamemon from Red Hybrid, that it digs deeper, but you only get one target. But this is only Tocado, so a bit rough. But the deck really needs its Tocados to pop off, so I think it's still definitely worth running, just because you need to see your Tocados. In inheritable here, while this Digimon has Groundmon or Gallantmon name, it gets plus 2k. Also very relevant because we don't have a whole lot of DP gain in this, and the bodies are, about 12k for the ones you're going to have the inheritables on. So having that DP buff actually kind of relevant, just because, again, Leviamon, he's 13, and then Levia X is 14k. It's big, right? And then Wargrey is also bouncing around. There's plenty of decks out there that 12k is not enough. So having a DP boost actually pretty good. We also have the Warp one from the starter deck 7. If your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Gallantmon in your hand for memory cost of 4. This just comes up. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else to say. It comes up. Again, Leviamon is out there, so they're always rocking the megas. So just being able to warp into a mega and then being able to blitz with our Takados, it's just a really strong effect. And then your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, draw one. So yeah, just those kind of like niche situations there. It can come up for you. Next, we've got the EX4 Gallantmon in here. I like this card. I ran this in some other oddball decks here and there every so often, just because on play, if the total number of cards in both players' trash together is 20 or more, it gains Rush. So 3 play cost Rush. If you have a memory fixer, you know, you're going to be good. And you just drop this guy and win out of nowhere. It's kind of like a hybrid for game situation of, do they have that? I don't know. Do they run that in their deck? It's just kind of like that. So they can't always play around it. So it's a good 2 of, I think, for the deck. You know me, I don't like 1 ofs. So I definitely feel like running this one at a 2 of makes sense for me. As well as, of course, it can just Digivolve for 0 on top of Digimon. Like if this is your only Gallantmon in hand, you can still just evo in Raising Area and move on, right? It's not just a one-trick pony in this deck. It fits in the deck perfectly, makes sense. I do have 2 of the Gallantmon X's in here. This one's always a debate, right? This isn't a type of deck where you're running 4 of, you know, your X antibodies so you can get that extra draw, like super powerful. Our other Gallantmons are also really strong, so we actually kind of cut this one down a little bit. Only at a 2 of here. The Evo on top of Gallantmon for that extra draw, really great. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon 3000 DP or less. Again, if you have your Gigimon there, giving them a little bit of a boost, that's 4K. So now you're hitting into some level 4s that are in the game. Not bad. And then also his inheritable is just like the Gigimon where he had 1K also. So I think he's just a nice little inclusion just to kind of round out our lineup of Gallantmons. We have 5 different rookies in this deck, which is a lot, because a lot of decks these days are only running about 3 rookies at roughly 3 to 4 copies each. So having 5 different rookies, definitely a change of pace. Jumping into our champions here, Black Growlmon here from EX4 coming in at a 4 of. Now, keep in mind when you're doing your searches, if it specifically states just Growlmon, you can't add this because its name is Black Growlmon. Now, if it has the text of contain or Growlmon in the name, then you can add this. So Digivolve for 2 on top of all your Gallantmons in name, so even on top of the X. Then when Digivolving trash the top 2 cards of both players' decks, then you may return 1 Gallantmon card or 1 card with Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name from your trash to your hand. Just a great recycle effect. You can actually get away with a lot of lower numbers, I feel like, in this deck because of this card. So we do a lot of milling in this deck, and as well as, you know, just recycling back pieces is very powerful. So whatever might end up in trash, you can just go ahead and grab right back. So really powerful card for the deck. And then inheritable on deletion, you may return 1 Gallantmon or 1 Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name from your trash to hand. So again, same thing there, except for when Digivolving, it's on deletion. So great card to just like keep you in the game. It's a fantastic grind card for sure. Jumping in next to the BT12 Growlmon, this is the card that I feel like is a bit of a bait. So when Digivolving, if you don't have a Takado in play, you may play 1 Takado from your hand without paying the cost. Sometimes this is awkward because you're just leaving your stack out there to die. Now, if you're just evoing in this and like swinging with it, that's fine. But I don't like this card where people try to like just keep evoing up out in the open, right? There's just too many kill cards in this game right now, and if you're building your stack out of Raising Area with something like this, you're just gonna, you know, put yourself in a bad situation. So I cut it down from 4 to 3 because of that. Again, personal decision there. I just bumped up the next one that we're going to talk about by 1. So it also has the inheritable, while this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon name, plus 2K. So yeah, again, we need a little bit of DP buff in this deck just to kind of get us over the threshold of where we want to be, and he's going to help us get there. And then this is the one that some people are running it as a one of, some people are running it as more. I love this card. Your turn once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory. It combos really greatly with like your Blitz stuff. So you Evo and your Gallantmons immediately swing, and then you kill something, and then you gain memory and bring it back to your turn. I really like that, and so you can just continue on and keep doing more and more. So I like this Growlmon a lot, but it's only kind of useful for like that one sort of play. It can be used in other aspects as well. Again, if you're using something like a Crimson Blaze, you know, you can pop off with it for a little bit cheaper because of this, because something's going to die. Next, going into the level 5s here, I love this War Growlmon. Ever since this War Growlmon came out, I felt like it's helped the deck a tremendous amount. Unlike the bait Growlmon, if you're evoing into this out in the open to get you a Tocado in play for free, totally okay. So when digivolving, both players trash the top 3 cards of their decks. Then if a player has 5 or more cards in their trash, you may play one Gallantmon or Tocado from your hand or trash without paying its memory cost. So if one ends up in the mill and you need that Tocado in play, this is a great one to use, as well as if you have a Tocado in hand. This is a great one to use for that. For getting your Tocados in play, I love this War Growlmon just so much, as well as it fills up both players' trash, which combos with our Gallantmon and our secret rare Gallantmon. So just getting those cards in trash. So yeah, he's a great one. Okay, so our next up, we've got the BT12 War Growlmon here. Another great inclusion for the deck. Really has taken this deck up to another level. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4,000 DP or less. You could bump it up to 5 to 6 with your inheritables. If no opponent's Digimon was deleted by this effect, you may digivolve this Digimon into a level 6 Digimon card of Gallantmon in its name in your hand for the digivolution cost. When this Digimon would digivolve by this effect, reduce the digivolution cost by 1. I think you would probably prefer most of the time to clear a body off your opponent's field rather than just evoing for one less. But where the kind of combo does kind of differ is, say you evo into this and it passes turn, right? And then you can then immediately evo into a Gallantmon after it's already passed, and then you could still blitz with the Gallantmon, all that stuff. That is a nice combo that you can do with this. So there is some fluctuation on strategies. You got to really kind of know the situation, know your deck, know the opponent's deck of, is that a bad play or a good play in this situation? Like, I'm about to give my opponent probably 5+ memory here doing that combo. So yeah, just be kind of careful by overextending with this. But also, end of attack once per turn. If your opponent has no Digimon in play and this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in its name, gain 2 memory. This is just kind of going back to like the Growlmon where you're gaining memory. So you're blitzing into your opponent's, the memory goes into your opponent's turn, you're blitzing, and then end of attack or you're deleting stuff and you're gaining memory back to bring it back to your side. This is just continuing on with that overall theme here. So really good design for the deck, I think, from the developers here. They really, I think, took in a lot of Gallantmon interactions when building this, so really appreciate it. And then only 6 level 5s. I know, pretty low, but we're also running Gallantmon X, and he really only gets his value by digivolving on top of other Gallantmons. So in conjunction with that, you can think, well, we've only running 4 level 6s that are going to evo on top of our level 5s, so that's why there's like a reduced count, as well as we have lots of searching aspects in this deck, so you can get away with lower numbers because of that. So first up, we've got the Royal Knights Secret Rare Gallantmon, 13 play cost, 5 evo. When you would play this card from the hand, if you have no Digimon, don't let people cheat you on that. If they have Digimon and they try to play this and reduce it, don't let them do that, because I've seen it. And maybe not even on purpose, but just thinking that they can do it. But reduce the play cost by 2 for every 5 total cards in both players' trashes. So this is a fantastic late game card just to play. It's got rush. You just swing with it. It's on play when Digivolve and when attacking effects here, so it doesn't matter if you're evoing it or playing it, you're going to get the value here, and you can activate the effect for each. It's not a once per turn, which is really great. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. Again, we can bump this up to what, 8,000? And if no opponent's Digimon was deleted by this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 13,000 DP or more. I know some people have questions about this. If the increase affects this, like would it be 15,000 DP or more? No, that's not how the effects read here. Add 1,000 to the maximum DP base deletion effects. So because of the way this is worded, you're not adding to the maximum of the deletion effect. So, but it also doesn't lower it either. So it'll stay 13,000 DP, but you could make this into an 8,000 DP. And yeah, just keep in mind, not once per turn, so you can play it or evo it and then swing, and you'll get the double pop there, which is great. Next, we've got the BT12 Gallantmon, which I love this Gallantmon. Out of like all the base Gallantmons, he's probably my favorite just because I think he's so powerful. He's got Raid here, no piercing, unfortunately, but when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less, which again, bump up to an 8. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. Again, bump it up to 8. If no opponent's Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. I love that. I love being able to, like, Gallantmon's always been one of those great ones where I'm like, yes, I love being able to just trash security for free. Like, I don't even have to worry about it. So again, if you're raiding with, Evo, pop something, raid, kill something else, and trash the security, like, not only are you clearing your opponent's field, but you're not giving up security checks in the process. So I like the versatility of it, right? So you can, even if you do decide to swing into security, you can just trash one first and then get the security check. Strong card, really, really strong card. But to combo with these guys, we've got the Gallantmon X, which is very similar to the one we just talked about. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. So you don't have to worry about any sort of restrictions there, just the lowest. And if no Digimon is deleted by this effect, unsuspend this Digimon. So a great follow-up to attacking and then evoing this guy and unsuspending yourself. Your turn once per turn when an opponent's Digimon is deleted. If Gallantmon or X antibody is in this Digimon's dissolution card, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So even if you evo into this guy and you can't unsuspend, if you're popping something with the effect, you're still clearing a security check. So either way, you're in a fantastic position for this. But if you can unsuspend with this, it's a great follow-up is to go, of course, into your Crimson mode, which we'll go ahead and talk about that right quick before we talk about the Megidra. 6 Evo cost is a little steep, but again, remember we have Blitz. When Digivolving, delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP, and when attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Just you immediately get one as soon as you attack, and then add 1 to the number of cards trashed by this effect for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash. So if they got 10 cards in trash, you're going to trash 2 of their security. This is one of the best finishers in the entire game here, just because, again, in combination with Blitz, you swing, you can clear out all the security or a bunch of security and then just win immediately if they don't have like a blocker or anything like that. Similar to something like the Omnimon X, right? That when it attacks, you can was it bottom deck a level 6 to reveal their security and then trash 1 card out of it. But this is just like, I'm just going to trash a whole bunch of security. So fantastic finisher for sure. But to continue on with our level 6s here, we do have the Megidra in here. I debated cutting this, but at the same time, I was like, well, there's nothing else I need. Like, I like the flexibility of this card. And again, we can add it back from trash here with our Black Growlmon, because it says in the name, and this guy is treated as having the name is Chaos Gallantmon, so it's Gallantmon in the name. So you can add this guy back off your Black Growlmons if he does end up in insecurity and goes to trash, or you mill it, anything like that. I know I'm not a 1-of fan, but because we can add back from trash so easily, I don't mind it, as well as he's not like an overall like must-have card for our strategies, But when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less. You can bump it up to 12. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top 5 cards of both players' decks. You know how many games I've won because of milling my opponent out? I know this isn't like the millith version of the deck or anything like that. But yeah, you just put your opponent in those situations where they were not expecting, just to like, okay, I've got one more turn that I can pop off and finish this game. And you're like, well, actually you don't. Evo Megidramon, mill the 5 cards out of your deck. Now you have nothing. I pass turn, you lose. So great card for that. And as well as the on deletion, you may play one Gallantmon and one Tocado from your hand or trash without paying their memory cost. So some really fantastic plays with this is if they kill it during your opponent's turn, you can play out this Tocado here. So one, he's a memory fixer, as well as main once per turn by placing this Tamer and one Groundmon and one War Groundmon from your trash in any order as the bottom Digivolution card of one of your Gallantmon. That Digimon may digivolve into a Gallantmon in your hand for the cost, ignoring its level. The Digimon digivolved by this effect gains plus 2k for the turn. So they pop your Megidramon and you're like, okay, I bring out a memory fixer Tocado and a Gallantmon. My turn, we're going to bio-merge these 2 guys together and go right back into another Gallantmon. So yeah, he's a great card, this Megidra is. And as for a memory fixer for the deck, you know, we like our 2 memory fixers, and this one synergizes with the deck very nicely. So this is our go-to. You could swap this out for something else if you wanted to, but again, he's got the Tocado name, so we can add him off of our searches. So I like him a lot, but if you really just don't feel like you're going to synergize with this effect that much, you could swap it out for a different red memory fixer. I wouldn't, though. I think he's really solid as is. But the main Tocado is still the original from EX2 here. Just super good. Your turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory. We've already talked about this numerous times, about how you blitz and then gain memory back and bring the turn back to you. He's just another way to do that. And also, of course, he's your turn when one of your Digimon would digivolve into a Gallantmon or Groundmon is name. That Digimon gains when digivolving blitz for the turn. He's giving your guys blitz. He's the one making the deck possible. So we absolutely run him at a 4 of. No contest. You have to run this at a 4 of. You have to get this into play ASAP because you have to give your guys blitz. Without blitz, I feel like this deck really struggles. So, but again, we have plenty of ways to search it, play it for free, and all that jazz. So yeah, Tocado at 4 of, must have. Get it in play as soon as possible. Crimson Blaze, which we already kind of mentioned earlier, he reduces the play cost by 1 for every Digimon your opponent has. So if you're playing this, ideally your opponent should at least have 1 thing in play, making it a 5 play cost. There are situations where you play this when your opponent doesn't have anything, and that's because the next part here, delete all your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. Your opponent can't play Digimon by effects until the end of their next turn. Again, really great for dealing with Leviamon. Sorry. Just turning off all their Leviamon plays is really powerful. So, and just as well as just in a general removal, like delete your entire opponent's board that's, 6,000 to 8,000 DP or less. Oof. Like at 8,000 DP, you're clearing. Look, most level 5s. You're clearing most level 5s with this, a Crimson Blaze. So strong. Also really great against something like Davis. They like to leave those level 5s sitting there, so that way they can blast Evo into their Megas, and you're like, yeah, I know what you're doing. I'm just going to Crimson Blaze away your dudes, your level 5s. Next, we got the offensive training. Again, this is another one of those must-have cards, I think, for Gallantmon. Offense training, man, this deck desperately needed it. Some decks can get away without the training cards. Some decks, so heavily depend on it, it's insane. And this deck is one of those. So 2 play costs, reveal 2, add a red card to hand, bottom deck the other one. So you can add any of your stuff off of this. Tamers, options, Digimon, doesn't matter. Does not care what it is. And then that delay, pop it to Evo for 1 less. Again, a great card for this deck, which we've kind of talked about a few times, just because, again, as soon as you Evo, you get a Blitz. So even if it's not enough of a reduction, you can still make it easier for like your Tocado and such to bring it back to your turn. So offensive training at a 4 of, no contest. Yeah, absolutely. And the last one is the red memory boost. So kind of similar. We're digging 4 instead of 2, but we can only add Digimon off of this one. It's a 3 play cost instead of a 2, but you can pop it to gain 2 memory with the delay. And there are situations where actually gaining the memory is better than the reduced Evo cost for, again, something like if you're hard playing anything like your Gallantmon here or your Gallantmon, where you're hard playing them, you're not Evoing them, so you need more memory to hard play these guys. That's where the red memory boost can shine more than the offensive training. I do like the offensive training way more, though, because it's going to come up so much more often than just gaining the memory boost, as well as memory blockers, of course, will hit the red memory boost, but not touch the offensive training. And no one ever plays the rookies that prevent Evo cost reduction. They only worry about the memory gain floodgates. I did want to fit in somewhere, though, something to clear big bodies just a bit, like something like, Gaia Force along those lines. But I feel like we have enough deletion effects here. I think we can get away without it. One, we've got plenty of ways to clear off low bodies, low DP bodies, and then we can do something like Gallantmon X here, delete lowest DP. So if you clear off all the little stuff, in theory, they should only have big stuff left. You can go Gallantmon X then to clear that big body. We have this one here that can delete 13,000 DP or more. We have the Crimson mode, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. So I feel like we don't need it like as much as I'm a big advocate for having something to deal with like Death X and things like that. I think the deck can still get away with dealing with your opponent having such a card. So Crimson Blaze, absolutely the way to go for sure for the meta call. And yeah, deck is cool. It gets even better here soon. So Gallantmon Crimson Ace, when it comes out, heck of a card, just absolutely insane. It's just like this Crimson, or oops, wrong click, just like this Crimson mode, but just even better. The fact we can evo it for free during our opponent's turn is just insane. But until we get there, this Crimson mode is still pulling its weight, absolutely. It's got some fantastic alt arts in this game. The Ultimate Cups, of course, super pricey, but very incredible. And even the original regular art and the original alt art are still some of the best alt arts in this game. Absolutely love them. Hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile, and if you did, if you're still here, please like the video and subscribe. If somehow you listen to me talk for like almost 30 minutes and you're not already a subscriber somehow, subscribe, as well as like the video. Literally, it's the only thing YouTube cares about. And go check out my Twitch page. I would appreciate a follow.